now starting. The window is visible. So once it pops up, it's time for introductions. Not like that, please. Okay, so tell us, say hello, everyone.
Hello.
That's Belmore,
Hello.
and that's Como. So, you guys are a bunch of wanderers. You are in a world devastated by a war caused by humanoids who were like, man, you know what's super easy is sitting in a tower and throwing some spells around. Turns out that didn't work out for them in the long run, because a lot of them kind of got screwed over. The only races that survived were the races that didn't hang out with them too much to begin with. And now, you guys are here, and you're having a blast. You are in the village of Newbrick. Now, a lot of like collections of people are traveling around. They're trying to find their place in the world. And Newbrick is like, we're gonna settle here. We're next to a river. The land is a bit swampy, a bit marshy. There's some desert over there, but it's fertile land. The river flows nicely. We'll just start setting up. As you arrived, you saw like the semi-permanent tent set up. But you also noticed that like some people are building brick buildings. They're starting to lay bricks and foundations for actual houses. There's irrigation channels. There's a small collection pool that they collect river water into. But things have grown a bit dire. So when they saw you, a bunch of wandering adventurers wandering, they were like, hey, listen, you want to take a job? Because we got a job for you. Because these people are A, busy building up their home, and B, going out and adventuring isn't something people generally do. And here it's doubly so because people are trying to set up. They're trying to protect their offspring and themselves. So you stayed at the inn, and today you are asked to come and talk to the mouthpiece of the village, which is not the chieftain, but the mouthpiece of the matron herself. So go ahead, give your characters an introduction.
Uh, do you want to
Como, go
start?
first then. Tell us something about yourself, Como.
Well, my character is a wanderer. Uh, unfortunate, due to an unfortunate series of events, they have ended up being bonded with the spirit of a long dead mage from the old world, and now they somehow have to find a way of separating themselves without killing each other. Because so
Exciting.
far, from what they know, separation will mean instant death for both of them. So they do
Brain
have to find
screwing.
some magical means of doing so.
Your class, by the way, is Ranger, and you are specifically a skirmisher.
Indeed.
That makes you a bit less of the typical Ranger. But what is Shady, the Tabaxian?
Oh, Shady is a dog-furred catman. Catman from parts unknown who, somewhere during the end parts of the Great War, he got caught in a stray portal to the shadow, the plane of shadow, and to get back to the real world, he had to make a pact with a strange entity
Indeed,
that now powers his abilities
indeed.
as a hex,
It's a way to live, I guess.
as a hexblade.
Okay. So you wake up. You're in the sort of inn location. It's mostly just a tent with a couple of spare beds. There's soup bubbling on the pot. The smell is nice. The air is a bit humid. It's nice and warm. It looks like it's nice and warm outside. It's a clear day. You remember seeing the river last night with all the soot and ash bubbling through it, and the fact that it's not sitting at the banks. Like, it's been reduced in flow, and it's not good water what's flowing through. So you can kind of see the plight of the people. What are you going to do?
Hmm. So, what exactly is your problem here? What?
Well, you were told that if you want to tackle the problem directly, you're going to have to see the matron's mouthpiece in the biggest tent of them all.
Ah, well, guess we had some breakfast and head over there then. Maybe
You
try
arrive at
to
the mistress's tent.
get get some information on the way.
Indeed. You walk past like half-built foundations. You see many orcs working tools and equipment. You see a couple of goblins near a caravan of burden animals, trying to pawn off some very fancy-looking wares. But as you arrive in the big tent, there is but one person in here, other than the two guards in front of the doors, one of whom has a very interesting-looking weapon. You see the man inside. He's kneeling. He's sitting on a pillow. Behind him is a big curtain, and you can clearly tell there's someone behind the curtain. And that the orc himself seems to have some sort of magical powers, because as you walk in, he draws symbols with his hands in the air and beckons you to sit down.
Okay. Can I recognize the symbols?
Go with Knowledge Arcana to see if you can identify them.
I would imagine the mage will be able to do the same.
Well, the mage isn't currently active, but to the best you can
course.
tell, he's doing some sort of prestidigitation. What catches more is the fact that his eyes are glowing, so it is most likely that the curtain itself is opaque.
Uh-huh.
So it's just like a minor seeing trick.
Hmm.
My name is Grur. Please have a seat.
Okay. Greetings,
Well, we
Squirrel.
came here
There's many
willingly,
pillows in the
so-
room. Like there's a tarp on the ground. There's pillows everywhere, so it's easy to sit down.
Yes, we should comply.
Yep,
Assuming we came here willingly.
I make myself comfortable.
I am the mouthpiece of the matron. She does not see outsiders herself, but consider it a great honor. Now, you have seen the river outside. You've seen its ebbed flow, its tainted waters. We have asked the people that live in the mountains, and they tell us that the river flows fine just there. We believe that it may be the city of Wellspring. As we all know, the old world has left many taints on the land, and as such, to see the river go is to be expected. We simply ask that you go for us and find out what the problem could possibly be, and resolve it, if possible. We have sent out scouts ourselves, but they have not returned.
All right.
It makes sense for them to be unable to spare more people
Hmm.
and to
When-
instead hire disposable wanderers to do their bidding.
Yes. When did you send the last party there?
We sent scouts twice. The last one was about a week ago.
And you haven't heard of them since.
We waited a few days, assuming that they were busy with work. But we are running out of water, and we are getting desperate.
All right. Right. And what's in this for us? What for us?
We orcs are master blacksmiths and can make some of the finest weapons you'll ever see. We will make you a weapon that will make even a demon from hell envious.
All right. You have my attention.
That's a reasonable deal.
Unless you wish something else.
The weapon is quite nice. Quite nice offer.
What is the name of the city again?
Newbrick, which is, when you really think about it, kind of a silly name. Because they're laying down bricks.
Uh,
That is fair enough. So, I assume we will be heading out to the mountains then.
hmm.
Well, you're not heading out to the mountains. If you look on the map, you'll see that the ruin of Newbrick is right over here. Like the mountains, they've already sent messenger for, and the messengers.
Okay,
Um,
so it's
they-
not too far.
yeah, it's a couple of hours walk. Like you'll take much of your day getting there, but once you're there, you're there.
Sure.
Okay, couple hours walk and you lost several. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Do you have any further information on the city? Has it always been such a dangerous location?
Well, we don't know much about the city of New Spring. We only know its name thanks to the Goblin Scouts. We were planning to start scouting it once we had set ourselves up and made all the equipment necessary, but as you can see, we are too busy with ourselves right now. These channels still need to be dug and the farms need to be tended to. But otherwise, we've never had any problems from Wellspring, other than the usual magical monsters that come from those places.
Right then, right then. Hmm. Okay. Do you have any provisions or equipment you could spare
It depends
before
on
we
the kind
go?
of equipment that you have need for.
Well,
We would require rations for at least twice the duration.
yeah,
Well, we're
that,
not going to keep track of rations, but they're going to offer you, like, if you need supplies like that,
If
they'll
you,
just hand
yeah.
it out for you.
and I can pretty much keep us in a food and water with my Monterey ability.
Hmm. Well,
Anyway,
natural explorer for Boyga means Boyga can take care of themselves too.
yeah, we are pretty self-sufficient.
Well, you got to
Uh,
be out here.
yeah. Uh, well, if
Doesn't
you
mean I
have any,
don't want the high quality stuff.
mm, well, if you have any chain shirts to spare, I would appreciate that.
Chain shirt, you say.
Yes.
How much is a chain shirt? Let me see if that would be reasonable to request up front. A chain shirt's 50 gold pieces. Well, if you can persuade them, you might be able to get it out of them. So
Good.
roll for persuasion to make your case, unless you wish to actually plead it. Okay. They think for a minute and go, well, I guess it's fair enough. And you see them make a few hand gestures, and you hear some movement outside. Once you leave, you will be handed your shirt.
Ah, thank you. And well, in fairness, I'll trade you my old leather armor, so you'll not go empty-handed.
He nods, and that does indeed cover some of the costs, making it a bit more of a reasonable trade.
Thank you.
Now then, if there is anything else you need to know, do ask. But otherwise, I recommend that you go. Our supplies are running low, and we wish not to worry for longer.
Yep.
Well, there are a few questions that we could ask. How long exactly has the river become contaminated?
Well, at least a few weeks. No
Alright.
more than 3.
No more than 3. Okay, fair enough. It's interesting that they have checked up with the mountains first, but were unable to contact the settlement right next to them.
Well, Wellspring is a ruin, and a dangerous one at that. Like, they're not just going to go out into the ruin. Like, they sent scouts as well. So don't think that they've
I
been
see.
sitting on their laurels.
Just uninhabited. It
They,
didn't
they,
just...
they don't have experience with going out into a ruin and explore it, so...
fair enough.
Are there any small things that I can fiddle around with in this room while I'm?
You could probably grab one of the tassels on the pillows and start wiggling it around.
Yep, I just kind of quietly play with it.
Most certainly. Now, he stays seated, but you notice that the curtains behind you are slowly pushed open.
Oh,
Well, the guards are kind of like letting you out. Like, if you don't have any further questions.
oh. Uh, well,
Do they have any idea what was a news break before the collapse?
What? The
Do they have
settlement
any
you're going
idea
to is
what
called
was...
Wellspring.
Oh, so the current settlement is Newsbrick.
This where you are right now is New Brick.
Right.
Where you're going is Wellspring.
Okay. Fair enough. Do they know what was in Wellspring before the collapse? That could be contactless.
The best knowledge they have is that Wellspring was Well, it wasn't like it was like a research location. Like they have a large tower in the center around which the river flows.
Aha.
That's about all they know because you can see the tower.
Then I am instantly interested on both accounts. And I have no further questions.
Sounds
Magnificent.
very interesting.
So as you
Since
leave,
you have...
one of the guards holds out like the chain shirt that you were promised.
Ah, thank you. I'll put it on, and I have already recorded it on the thing.
Excellent, excellent. Both of an armor class of 15. But with that, the guards point out to the river and say that the best way to get there is just to follow the river because the river flows through New Spring itself.
Hmm.
Is the river contamination something noticeable?
Yes, as I mentioned, the river itself is not flowing as much. It is about 1/3 or 1/4. It's hard to say exactly how much, but it's like significantly reduced height. So there's a lot less flowing. What's more noticeable is that the water has sparkling like black dust in it.
Oh.
Like it's visibly contaminated with something.
Can I take a closer look?
Sure, sure.
I would suggest against it, but sure.
Yeah, try to
Go poke it with a stick.
examine the whatever is contaminating it.
Now you know what this stuff is. You come from the pre-war lands, so you know what this stuff is. This is magical fallout. Like this is ash, as most people call it,
All right.
which makes the water like seriously contaminated because you don't want to drink that stuff.
Yeah. Bad news.
It gives you a dry throat of all things. Oh,
Okay, that is. Well, it could be as simple as a old building collapsing onto the river and causing all of this, but yeah,
hmm
we'll see. We'll see.
So what are you doing?
Following the river upstream.
So the village of Newbrick is in relatively flat desert land because it's easier to set up like the irrigation and all. But soon enough, you go into swampy lands, following the marshy soil. It's even next to the river where there's a path, which is most likely made by goblins traveling along it. It's somewhat hard to move as you go through thicker and thicker trees, and eventually it becomes dark and the air becomes earthy and musty. Fungus is growing on every tree root. Roll me a what is it again? Perception check, because your passive perception not enough. Okay, excellent. So you don't notice it, but Como does. There is a what is it called? A giant wasp a distance ahead, and it does not look happy. It looks very confused and discombobulated.
I'm playing with a ball of string.
Is it an insect, a monster, or a
It is a very large
person?
wasp.
I see.
Like you really don't need any more to know what it is.
Yes, it is probably affected by the dust.
You can roll me
Considering
knowledge,
it's erratic.
nature, or arcana to see from a distance.
Probably Como probably points the giant bug out at some point.
Well, it is possible for me to do so, but I'm gonna need to call in a friend's assistance.
Well, you don't have to because Belmore, yes, you know, the creature has small parts of its carapace and its chitin are they're very dusty. They look flaky. They look crystally. It has clearly been consuming large amounts of ash, and so pays the price for it. You can tell like there's random spurts of like odd magic coming off of it as well.
That's it. We're walking around it.
That would be stealth.
Alright. Heckie.
Ooh. So you managed to you duck into the foliage because this thing is like flying around the where it can most easily fly, which is naturally over the path and near the river, um, and sneak your way around the thing. Um,
Hmm.
it looks pretty aggressive because you see it attack like other insects, like it just goes and then just goes on with little care to the meal it left behind.
Interesting. Uh, hmm. Yeah. I kind of looking at it, but I don't really see much glory in battling giant mosquitoes. Hmm. Yeah. Continue. Continue on.
You move on and on through the forest. It starts to clear up. You can see the tower in the distance. Eventually, the walls come close. You notice that the pathways, like the path you were on, suddenly goes right off, ignoring the cobblestone road and going around the wall itself, ignoring the innards of the city.
Hmm.
You see a small group of like a kobold, no, yeah, a kobold and a goblin negotiating something near the gateway, going inside into the town itself.
Oh, huh, okay. Hmm. Yeah. Can I do some eavesdropping?
Sure. You move in. Roll me some stealth or perception, depending on how you want to approach it.
Hmm.
It would probably make sense to use perception first.
You bumble into the conversation, and they notice you, and they just give you a bit of a glare, but they seem not to care that you're there to begin with. You hear that the kobold is screeching about how his friends are inside the place, and the goblin is like, I don't care. I'm not gonna help you.
Oh, okay. Hi. And
Hey,
what's going on here?
well, me and my friends were, doing the usual stuff, scavenging a cool city, when some weirdo came. He was wearing
Oh,
like strange black robes and he threw around clouds of dust, and then my friend started acting weird and I ran outside. And now this man won't even help me.
huh. A, hmm.
That will explain what happened to the scouts. We can safely assume that they are possessed or some such.
Yes. Acting weird in what kind of way?
But their eyes started glowing, glittering like gemstones. And then they just started swinging all around them in a crazed daze of sorts.
Huh. Well,
That's
that's
what exposure to dust does to you.
troubling. And you say this weirdo was just throwing this stuff around.
Yeah, he like swirled it around like some wizards throw around magic missiles.
Hmm. Yeah. So you, hmm. Can you give any kind of description beyond him or them wearing a dark robe?
Well, not really. He was kind of tall, like you are,
Uh-huh.
but not as lean. Um, and he had some weird kind of thing he held in his hand. What was it again? It was a wand. A wand, yeah, he had a wand that he swung around as well.
All right. All
He
right.
seemed to. It was also like when we saw him, he was near a bunch of statues too, lifelike.
Huh. Well, that could be bad
That's not
thing.
good.
Hmm. Okay.
Extreme exposure to the ash turns
Okay.
people into those statues. Extreme exposure.
Ah.
So it's interesting how he has been able to control it without turning into one himself.
Yes. Hmm.
If he if he possesses the means of protecting against, warding against Ash, we should investigate.
Yes, that would be interesting.
But hey, if you see them, just don't kill them, right? Like they're good people.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Yeah, look, we'll try not to kill them, but if they attack first and if they persist in attacking, we will
Well,
have to put them
as
down.
as a quick note, the rules in 5e are if the last attack you can say if you knock them out or kill them. So it's a lot easier to do that in any other game.
Okay, that's fair enough. But
Yeah.
still, unless maybe it's some kind of critical hit that just kind of gives them.
Like I said, it's up to the player to decide whether they kill or not. But
Sure.
you also notice, by the way, that like you've been standing here for a bit, just idly looking around. You notice that the river goes into goes into town, but there's like a grate. So, if
So it
anything,
passes underneath the town.
no, yeah, it's an exposed river, like, but it's just closed off at the wall so that people can't just sneak in through it.
I see.
Okay.
Well, I
Hmm.
wouldn't be sneaking through an ash-infested water anyway.
No, that's
True.
dry. Like half the grate is exposed. So
They should probably try to divert the river at some point, going through drinking
I don't
water.
think they have the resources.
Uh, would be maybe later. Having a river go through pre-war ruins is not terribly smart.
it's on the dock. Let's put it like that. They've got plans.
Oh, hopefully. Okay, so wait.
Which
Okay.
way is the gate to the city?
You're
Or
standing
can
right
we
in front
just
of it.
kind of climb over?
I mentioned
I
that
see.
you were standing right in front of it with the goblin and the kobold.
Do you have any kind of incentive for us to help your companions?
Well, I do have some money. I mean, I am a scrapper, so
You'd
Ah,
probably donate one of his discoveries to our cause. Right, so he's been talking to a goblin. So the question is, why is the goblin here?
the goblin is just like a traveling merchant, and
I
you just
see.
saw him
Well,
along
what
the
is
way.
he doing in the middle of a dead city?
Oh, you're standing in front of the gate. Like the goblin probably came from the path and saw the kobold freaking out.
Hmm.
It's a story he's going with anyway. Not to
Is
mention,
it
if they're
possible for
scrapper
us
in the
to...
city, you can sell them good stuff for a nice price.
Okay, that's fair enough.
right.
The kobold walks up to the door leading into the city, and he feels around a bit and pulls open a door in the big gate.
Mm-hmm. It's
He-
interesting that these places are easily accessible. Would imagine I would put at least some sort of warning if they could. Guess they couldn't. Hasn't been too long.
I mean, it's not like the highest priority to put stop signs and everything, Como.
Yes.
Oh. Hmm.
Let's enter the dead city then.
Yep. Let's stroll right in. And have I received any visions about this place?
Visions. How about I see what the dice have to say about what kind of vision you're gonna get. Okay. The vision you have is a vision of a storm, of a raging storm, and that's about it. A storm
Alright.
with crackling lightning, tearing
Hmm.
things asunder.
Well,
Ugh,
be me.
that's unpleasant. But slightly unclear. Hmm.
All visions tend to not be the most reliable thing.
Yeah. Alright. So, what do we see inside the gates then?
You're on the street, going straight forward. The town is laid out in a radial sense, so that the tower in the center, all the roads branch off from there, and then there's radial streets that cross between them in arches. So it's kind of like the spokes on a wheel, and then there's smaller wheels inside of it. Since you're standing on the main entrance street, you're right next to like what seems to be old shops.
Saruman's tower,
It's a very nice tower. It's made out of a somewhat dullish gray, and it goes straight up. You don't see any windows or any external like features other than that it's just whoop, go straight up.
Alrighty. Oh, he probably has to couple the roughly where he met that rogue figure.
Well, I'll be standing like right behind you, so. I saw them like near the base of the tower. That's where I last saw them.
Okay. Alright. We'll keep our eyes out. Hmm.
Well, considering the way the river flows is the river flows next to the road you're on, and it goes straight to the tower. Like, they diverted the river in Wellspring to go around the tower as a sort of tiny moat.
Okay.
There are bridges connecting it, but it just looks nice.
Hmm. Alright, well, let's head towards the tower then. I suspect most of the shops here have been plundered.
Not really. Like, plundering around here isn't... Like, most people don't do it. And you're not near a
Oh.
town that can really afford the expeditions. Like, there's still plenty of stuff to be gotten out of ruins.
Oh ho ho. Well, I take a peek in the nearest shop-looking building.
As you take a peek, you see a very rough-looking dude with a big bag of loot behind him, and he's rummaging around behind one of the counters.
This one's already occupied.
He doesn't look too happy to see you when he suddenly pops up, and he goes, "Hey, this is my place. What do you want?"
Oh, I'm just doing some looting myself, friend. Don't concern yourself with me.
He kind of huffs at you.
Okay, I take a peek at the next shop.
You're in a magic shop. A lot of things have been smashed, broken, torn apart, clearly destroyed by something, or perhaps just wear and tear. You notice two things that may be recoverable is a scroll that's in fine state and a potion.
Ah. I take a look at the scroll.
Mm-hmm. Let me look up the scroll so I get this one right. 200. The
Go
scroll.
ahead.
What was that?
Hmm?
Oh, wait, great. It doesn't tell me what it actually does. Wait, I have this. I can just... Where's it? No. I had a thing for this that made this easier to do. Oh, here it is. It is a scroll of Aura of Life.
Ah.
Great. I love how this...
Let's look it up.
Page 216.
5E.
Aura of Life. It is a 4th level abjuration spell. It basically hones in on yourself, and creatures gain resistance to necrotic damage, and your hit point maximum can't be reduced. And you gain 1 hit point when it starts its turn within the aura with 0 hit points. So it's a great way to bring your friend back from death.
Alright.
The other is a Potion of Invulnerability.
Oh.
So that's nice.
Okay, let's pull information for that up.
Potion of Invulnerability. For 1 minute after you drink this potion, you have
Plus B.
resistance to all damage.
Resistance to all damage. Resistance, but not immunity.
Resistance is halving, so
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty
That's
slick
fair
potion.
enough. Well, I'd like to check, just kind of dangle the bottle around to see if it's got ash residue inside of it.
Nope.
'Cause-
The bottle is like well sealed and looks fine.
Okay. Well, let's hope this is not post expiration date.
Yep, I pocket the potion and scroll.
Go ahead.
I suspect there's nothing else of much interested
There's
here.
not much to scavenge around here.
Yeah. Somebody or something tore through here.
Well, they're the main stores, so what are you gonna find? Like the register's been pulled open and emptied.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, let's just say good beginning.
You go back outside, and you hear running, and you see that the thug is running. He's running right away from you towards the gates of the city.
Oh. All right.
There is a creature, but a short distance away from you, coming towards you.
Oh.
It is so. When this whole magic thing happened, a lot of like pets and just animals near cities got targeted with a whole bunch of spooky magic, and they turned into weird, weird things, to say the least. You are looking at what appears to be like like a pretty bulky snake, about the size of a dog in terms of girth, with 3 heads, and it's slithering towards you.
Well, the best course of action here would be to step into the ruins and attempt to hide. For me.
I draw my blade and cast frostbite.
Give me a second while I look up the stats, so I have that available. There we go. Okay.
Would it be possible for me to do a stealth attack if I manage to hide?
Actually, well, the way it works is first I need you guys to roll initiative on yourselves.
I see.
Okay.
At the very least, I can attempt flanking.
This creature has... What is his initiative? It doesn't mention.
How do I roll initiative?
You just click initiative, the word.
It's core, middle, top.
Como, however, rolls with advantage because of what he does. So, Como, let me see. The creature goes first, but you get your ambuscade, so you get to move 1 extra attack round. You have a round in which you can either hide or attack.
Yes.
The creature, however, has noticed you, so you cannot hide without cover.
Okay, I get a... We wanted to send the result of this roll to the turn tracker, but no valid token was selected.
Yeah, it says that because it tries to immediately assign it to a token.
Right. Well, I go right at the Como.
Okay, I'll just drag your icons onto the field so I can... Oh, I can add custom items. Shady. Boyga. So Boyga is 14. You are... No, this thing rolled a 19. It rolled pretty well in its initiative. You did not roll 143. So Boyga, it is your turn technically because you have ambuscade. You can try to perform a hide action by diving behind cover because you are like still near the front of the shop. You could try to hide behind it.
Yes.
Or you can
that's
attack.
What I would like to attempt to do. I would like to attempt to hide on the opposite side of.
You
Shady
dive right
bullet.
over. Roll me a stealth check. Although you're rolling with advantage because you're behind full cover.
I see.
You did.
Not the poorest of rolls.
There's a button you might want to know about. There's a button at the top which says advantage, normal, disadvantage. Rolling with advantage means you roll twice and take the better results.
I see. Well, here we go.
15. Okay, you're behind cover. The creature is no longer noticing you. It is not aware of your location. With that, Boyga, the snake thing slithers ever closer towards Shady because it's the only thing it can see. The many heads are snapping, snap, 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 as it's trying to bite. And, oh, that is a miss. And that is a barrel hit. How much damage does it do with its attack? Okay, that's not much, but... It does 1 damage as it bites at your ankles.
Ow.
It hurts, but it seems to be non-poisonous or out of poison.
Non-poisonous. Good.
Boyga, you're still hidden. If you were to attack now,
Yes.
you'd get a serious boost on your ability to hit the thing.
Of course. Considering it's busy attacking my pal over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It has an
Would
AC of
that
10.
still be rolling with advantage, by the way?
Oh yes, you can roll with advantage, or you can roll against AC 10. You can pick. You make it. Why is that? Oh yeah, you jump out of cover, and you stab your two swords down into the creature. And basically kill it.
Oh,
Wow.
oh.
The creature
Oh,
falls.
happiness.
The creature starts to burn and fizzle and turns into a mixture between dust and goo.
Ugh.
It's stuck on your swords.
Is it corrosive in any way?
No, but it doesn't smell good either.
Well, I would
Uh-huh.
spare the cloth to just wipe it off. Just gonna shake it around.
It's pretty sticky, but you managed to get most of it off.
It was less glorious than I would have hoped for. Hmm.
Well, it's just a small snake thing. You're probably going to get your glory fight against whatever awaits you.
Okay.
So,
Who's next?
wherever you want to go, that's who's next.
Well, if we approach through one of those spokes, we'll probably get noticed a mile away, like we just did, technically.
There aren't like
At the
many
very
alleys
least.
to move through, though.
Yeah. Well, at least we'll stick to one of the walls and try to approach it somewhat with a little bit of concealment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving deeper into the city.
You
The
s-
river should be trailing like right next to us, I suppose.
Yes, you're still on the road that's next to the river.
Let's see.
So as you move along, you don't hear much of like anyone try to. You don't see any like other scavengers around here. You do, however, in the distance, notice something unusual. You see ash, like a storm of dust and powder floating around, and there are several petrified statues of sorts standing facing a single entity, which you cannot see because he's right around the corner of the tower, although the tower has no corners, because it is round.
I see. So it's not a natural ash storm.
Well, there's no ash storm. There's just some powder being flung around. Like, you know how waterbenders make all that stuff float around? That's basically what's happening.
Yes.
Hmm.
You also notice
Well,
something else, and this is kind of important, is you notice that the water splits around the tower into two channels. The channel on the left, which is on your side, is much clearer than the one on the right, which is very tainted, to the point of basically being sludge, as it mixes back with the channel.
Bad. um. Okay. Can we like? s- So we're just seeing ash clouds moving about.
Yes.
Hmm. Can we see any sign of the rope figure or any other people?
well,
Um,
there's somebody behind the tower.
well, if you circle around the tower just a bit, you can start seeing like a robed figure swirling his hands around. He's gathering energy. Sometimes the statue falls apart, and he just creates a bigger and bigger cloud.
That's
He's shouting about something. Very
okay.
excitedly, might I add.
Any sign of the kobold?
Not yet.
Can I make out what he's shouting about?
He's shouting something about the Ashen Lords and doing them a great service.
Hmm. What does he sound like?
He sounds a bit gruff, kind of like you'd expect an orc to sound.
Uh-huh. Alright. Possibly an orcish madman.
He is indeed pretty tall and bulky, for what it's worth.
It doesn't necessarily mean that he's insane.
He's drilling about ash. I'd say that qualifies almost. Well, any who's it? I'm taking aim with my light crossbow.
Hmm.
I would attempt to sneak up and try to shoot him from a distance through the cloud.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you're aiming from quite the distance, and the ash storm makes it hard to aim, as well as the statues that are in the way. So you're basically shooting with disadvantage from this distance, since you're still across the channel.
Got it.
Okay.
So,
Let's see if this works out. At the very least, we're far enough so that we can actually run away if things go awry.
don't forget to re-roll me your initiative.
Yes.
You're up against a neat, tidy 10.
21.
So you get to go first. And you do have the surprise round, so you get to unload, or do you? Because
Huh?
okay, so take aim and fire at will. What didn't? Oh, there it goes. Okay, take aim and fire at will.
Well,
Yeah.
people who are dealing with ash, especially in such quantities that turn people into ashen statues, are clearly a danger.
Yep. Then this one has disadvantage. Disadvantage.
Como rolled a critical hit. That means he rolled. What is the highest he can roll? A 10, 17. An ashen bolt flies through the air. Your bolt flies through the air, I mean, sorry. Actually, no, it's a long one, so it's an arrow. Whoops. Your
It's
arrow
simple.
flies through the air, goes through one of the statues, and goes straight into the guy for a straight and solid hit. He winces in pain and looks around and then waves his hand.
Good.
Another solid shot. Another bolt launches itself into his arm again as he doubles back. And he cries. He cries at you about the power that he has. And you notice that all the ashen statues around him are slowly starting to move. They crack, little puffs of dust come off, and they start to rush towards you in a mass of people.
How many rounds do we have till they reach us?
You have one round. They are, like, right now, they are just a few steps away from you. You also notice that the ashen, like the clouds that are floating around, are starting to concentrate around the mage.
Well, he's clearly preparing or charging something, so I would attempt to use this last round to try and shoot him again.
Oh, yes, you had another move, too. Because of your
Would
ambuscade.
Would that still be at a disadvantage, of course?
Yes, it's not a disadvantage because there's a mass of statues in between. Oh, you didn't get a crit. Oh, yeah, I'm completely messed up. You still roll pretty good. You aim through and hit him. You nail him right, like this time in the chest. And now you can notice very clearly that he is very much, like, he looks like he's made of the same stuff the statues are. Like, he's pretty far gone. His eyes are glittering with strange energies. And he cackles once more. Shady,
Okay.
go.
Well, killing people like this is a service to community, basically, at this point.
Yep. And how far away is he?
What range are you going for?
Just looking at my frostbite spell, it has a range of 60 feet.
It's 60 feet. So, if you move up to the ashen figures, and you get yourself in their range, you might be able to aim right past them, but you'll be rolling with disadvantage because you're in melee range.
Okay. And will the shooting at the orc be at a disadvantage?
Yes, because you're trying to shoot in melee range past some statues that are moving.
Alright. Well, I'm taking aim with my crossbow and shooting at the guy.
Well, even with disadvantage, you manage to make it. His AC is not that high. You hit him in the forehead, and he shouts about the Ashen Lords again, about how they will get you. You notice that he doesn't fall over dead. He just stops moving. The ash that he's been collecting is crackling and becoming unstable. Boy, God, there is still a mass of ashen figures walking towards you.
Yes. How many?
By the looks of it, 6.
Is it possible to discern whether or not they're stronger than us in any capacity?
Judging by how they move, they're pretty flimsy.
Fair enough, then we can stand fight. Otherwise, we should just I'll just grab Shady and just run.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, I assume this is my turn.
Yes.
In which case, click. I'm gonna swing at the
Oh no, wait,
nearest
wait,
one.
it's their turn. They get to move in on you.
I see.
So you're now surrounded. There's 6 of them. I will roll with 2 dice to determine for both of you. Ooh, that's a lucky. That's lucky. So that's okay. That's only 3 hits. Okay, so Shady, you are surrounded by them. They all managed to get their square sets of hits in. I'm now rolling for your damage.
Ow.
I rolled pretty crummy. You only take 4 points of damage. Boyga, who's only hit once. Oh, he only gets hit for 1 damage too. You're getting battered up from all sides by these things. Then Como goes in, and since he's rolling with his weapons, he stabs them. And you notice that the instant you put like a good cut or a good stab in them, they just fall apart instantly. Your
Hmm.
goo is collecting the ash on it because it's kind of sticky.
I see. So from the research that I've made so far, the statues do not erode, but once they're touched, they usually just fall apart. So
Yeah, once you give,
one
but
hit
these
per.
these seem to be a little bit more durable than that. Like you have to give them a good nudge to really destroy them.
Mhm.
Moving on, you've taken 2 of them down. There's still 4 left, and it is Shady's turn.
Okay. Let me check something. Hmm. Okay. As a bonus action, I put my Hexblade's Curse on one of the ascended ash statues.
Are you sure you want to use it now?
Well, if I kill them, I gain
Health
HP
back.
back.
Okay,
Yeah.
not a bad idea. Okay, you blast one of them with your curse. It soaks into the ash. Although you get the
Yes.
feeling that the curse kind of disagrees with being inside this thing.
Hmm. And then I'm going to use my Arms of Hadar spell.
Ooh, exotic. What do the arms of Adar do?
Does that. When you invoke the power of Hadar, the Dark Hunger, then the darkness erupt from your battle all creatures within 10 feet of you.
Roll me. Actually, you don't have to roll. All I have to do is roll for. So there's 3 more creatures around you. There's 1 more next to Como. You're not close enough to Como to hit him. So if they make the save, well, actually no, no. Okay. What is your save DC again? 13. Okay, so you destroy 1. You destroy 2. There's now 2 left, and they are 1 on each.
Oh, do I destroy the one that I put my curse on?
If you wish.
Yep. Indeed, I do. How much?
Level plus your charisma modifier, so 4.
Oh, nice. Back to 9.
The ash statues take swings at you once more. Okay, that's a miss. And where's to put the die for you? That's the Boyga die. Boyga, you are hit.
How hard?
2 damage. One of them thwaps you across the face.
That's rude.
It is your turn. Show him what you got. That's a hit. You basically tear him apart, and he turns to dust at your feet. You'll notice that unlike most ashen, like you've probably seen ashen statues before, and you've seen how they crumble, because every place basically has at least someone if they're relatively new to the area. These turn to like inert dust, like it's not sparkling or magical or crackling. It just clearly the animating magic is interfering with the natural magical nature of the stuff. But there's 1 more left, and that's Shady's problem.
Yep. I'm just going to slash it at my with my uh, shadow infused longsword.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You bam! Your shadows cleave through it, causing it to turn to a nice puff. And as you do so, you notice that there's a small sort of gemstone falling on the ground into the ash that was stuck somewhere inside the head of this thing.
Oh, oddly.
Yes. In fact, all of the heaps around you seem to have little gemstones inside of them.
I'll just kind of rummage through the pile with the sword.
You push it aside, this more ash sticking to the thin layer of goo. You notice that each of the statues, like you find 6 of these things. They're burnt out gems, but burnt out gems just so happen to be good reagents to use for stabilizing agents. So they do sell for 5 gold pieces each. And you found 6 of them.
I collect the ones that from the piles that were attacking me.
Yep, same here. Oh no, gem.
Now that you've taken care of the statues, you notice that where the guy is standing, like there's a book on the ledge of the water, like where the water is. There's a book on the what's it called, banister. It's just guardrail. I'm having the hiccups.
Well, at least they had some sense of OSHA compliance.
So the guy froze with his hands up, and so the big sleeves that are over him have like rolled down across the smooth ash. You notice that he's wearing a very glittery gold headband bracer. Has a small like pouch on the side of his robes. You also notice that the unstable dust has started to float up to the sky.
Is it possible for us to contain it somehow?
It is
Let
beyond
it
your
into
reach
the
now.
mist,
It's
perhaps?
way up high. It would take something special to bring it down. He also has his wand, so
Rush at
Oh,
him with my sword.
oh, he's just a statue. Like
he's
he's
a statue.
Oh, well, break the statue anyway.
You hear the clanging of the bracer on the ground. You hear clinking of potion bottles, and the rustling of coins in the pouch.
Oh,
Brutal.
good.
You also notice that the wand that he's using, the wand to control the ash, mostly has like ash pressed together into a small tip, but the rest of it is made out of wood.
Okay, I'll go through his belongings.
You take a look at all the cool stuff he's got. He has in his pouch 80 gold pieces. He has some minor gemstones. Each are worth 5 gold pieces. He also has a potion of healing on him, 2 of them in fact. And the gold bracer, which is worth a bit of money.
Well, how are we gonna split it?
Um, well, a healing potion each.
Fair enough.
I think it's like 2d4 plus something. Yeah, it's
Seth, are you
2d4 plus 2.
keeping track of the loot that we're picking, or should we?
Should keep track of what?
Of the loot that we are
Yes,
picking up
please
right
do
now.
keep track of it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll need you to go through the items again, real quick.
You found a golden bracer, 2 black gemstones, 80 gold pieces, and 2 potions of healing. And his wand in his book, when you think about it.
Well, I'll pocket the shiny gems.
They're pretty nicely crafted onyxes, by the looks of it.
Hmm.
So he was creating ash zombies.
Essentially. Although the burnt out gems you found aren't all onyxes, so gem type seems to be irrelevant here.
I'm gonna go and rummage through his spell book, or normal book, I guess, if it's not a spell book.
So you check through his book. It is a mixture of a spellbook and a diary. It mentions how he was essentially experimenting with ash magic, and eventually came into contact with some sort of higher being that he calls the Ash Lords. which promised him great power if he were to conjure a chaos storm right here and then.
Well,
A chaos storm is a terrible thing to be near.
yes. Well, hopefully this dust cloud doesn't settle upon us or the nearby cities.
Well, the dust is swirling up and it's starting to form into clouds.
Oh, shit.
I throw a small pouch containing 40 gold coins to Boyga.
Thanks.
There you go. What does the wand do?
The wand is a wand with an ashen tip. It's got some glass over it, so the ash is just sort of stuck in there. It doesn't... You can roll me Knowledge Arcana to see if you can figure out approximately what it's for.
Okay.
So you know that this wand is it provides a limited safe barrier when casting ash magic. Like when you're using ash to enhance your magic, this is like sort of an in-between step to safeguard yourself from it. It also would probably provide increased control over it, because, you know, that's how magic tends to work. Water wand, water magic, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Can I figure out a way to use it to dissipate the ash cloud?
What would that be? Would it... No, insight is like knowing stuff. I'd say that's a nature check to sort of know what you're doing.
Nature.
Yeah, it's a bit more... Okay. You actually know enough about nature to know this. You think that you have a way by which you can't like dampen it completely, because this is like beyond your power level. But you can try to sort of disperse the dust, but you might have a negative side effect if you do so. So it's either weathering out a chaos storm or risking some wild event. But the wild event would only be local, like directly around you.
Alright. No room for caution, you know what?
There's also the risk that you can become ash tainted.
I've already beholden to a strange entity. That's not.
Well, he does have some sort of a safeguard. Quick question. Is it something that the mage can help with, by the way?
With what? Oh yeah, sure.
With this situation?
I mean, he probably knows something about magic fallout.
Perhaps
So-
he could also help somehow. So in that case, I would like to call upon his assistance. For the time being, at the very least.
Okay. He comes forth. You may now use a sheet.
Yep.
I'm going to see what approximately is going to happen when you decide to use this. Oh, that's great.
Try to control the ash storm.
So the two of you combine your magical strengths. Energy is surging. The dust is starting to crack. You know that a way to get rid of this stuff is to sort of blast the energy into something else, but it's kind of hard to control it. So as it cracks and there's a flash of light.
Would the tower serve as a giant lightning pole?
No, the tower is not like made of metal or anything that would specifically attract it.
Fair enough.
So the both of you are now surrounded by an aura of flickering light, and there's a whole bunch of random lizards around you.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I rolled.
Is it just regular lizards or like...
Oh, they're just like regular lizards. Like there's a green one, there's one that looks a bit more whitish.
Okay. Hi there.
Can you roll me a constitution check?
Oh.
Yeah, just Shady. Okay, Shady. Oh, heck.
Bless you.
Oh. Sorry.
So Shady, you managed to stave off becoming touched by the ash. So no problems there, because that would be bad, because it is something that compiles.
I imagine my patron had something to do with that.
Your patron naturally protects you from many things, probably also from magic fallout.
Yes, can't have you servant be tainted by some water power.
So you'll probably stand there baffled for at least a minute, because that just happened. And a couple of kobolds are walking up to you. They are winged ones. Um, and they wonder what the heck just happened. Like they saw a flash going up into the sky, and then this big gathering storm just went poof.
Um, okay, hi.
Yeah, hello.
Uh, did we get the name of the guy at the gates? The kobold?
Not really. You never asked.
Yeah. Um, how long have you been here?
We came here in the morning to like look for cool stuff, you know, because that's what these places are good for.
Okay. and and then what?
Well, we remember seeing this weird guy who was like shouting about a whole bunch of stuff, and then he shot a big old dust cloud at us, and now we're here. We were over there, like in a shop.
Hmm.
So it's not the kobolds that we're looking for.
They. I
Well, we were
think.
with our buddy, but we didn't see him with us, so
Okay. Hmm. Well, your friend
Should we
is.
break the news?
Uh, yeah. Your friend is waiting at the gates.
cool, cool. That's nice. That's cool.
Uh, I should probably escort them there to ensure we get our reward.
You head out to the
Assuming
gates.
they just don't leave.
The kobold and the goblin are still like arguing, but when the kobold sees his friends, he's like, ah, thank goodness, thank goodness. Ooh, ooh. There's hugs all around. Um, but before,
They.
what are you gonna say?
Just they seemingly returned to normal after we took care of the rope guy.
Huh. Cool. That's yeah, okay. I promised you something, didn't I? And the goblin like
Yeah.
looks at the kobold and goes, "No, no, no, you never remind them. You never remind them. They might forget."
No, I do not forget forget promises of Chinese.
But you could have. There's a chance you could have. That chance is worth taking.
Whatever, Goblin.
By the way, am I affected by the same effect that Shady was hit by?
You weren't
or not?
casting like ash magic. You were sort of providing support to keep it from blowing
Oh,
everyone
I
up.
see. I see. So every time we use Ash Magic, there's some effect that we need to roll for,
Yes.
as usual. Okay, fair enough.
So he thanks you. And reaches into his pouch, and he wants to know if you would like money or if you're more like a gem person, or you know, because he's a scrapper. He's got stuff.
Oh, Chinese.
We'll pick your poison, bro.
Well, the mage would go for a relic of the past if possible, but he doesn't mind either way.
I'll take the gems.
Well, he also has like other stuff. Like he has some potions, but if it's cool ancient relics you want, he takes out a small silver mirror that looks pretty well made. It's got some minor gemstones, like tiny things encrusted into the rim. And for you, for the one who likes the gemstones, he takes out a beautifully polished. You don't know quite what it is. It's a bit of a reddish stone, but you can't quite put your name on it.
Oh. Looks nice.
It's a jasper.
Yes, is it possible for the mage to tell what the mirror is?
But the mirror is,
Or
it's just a
if
mirror.
it's just a...
It's a
just a
very
mirror.
nice mirror. But the fun thing about the mirror is that it lights up. So even when you're in the darkness, you'll always see your reflection. It doesn't emit light, but in the reflection, everything is lit up.
So technically I can use it as a sort of kind of backwards low vision thing.
It's like it's like the mirror has dark vision.
Awesome.
So the guy speaks up a bit and he points at the jasper you're holding. If you don't like gems, if you like break it in your hand, you can teleport a thing you see to your hand.
Oh.
It's basically like a cipher. You can use it once and then you can teleport an item you see to your hand.
An item you have to physically see.
Yes. It can't be
So
smaller than anything you can fit in your fist, basically.
I see. So I can't just teleport the heart out of
No.
my enemy and crush it. But will it be possible for me to teleport gems from those ashen zombies?
No. Unless they're exposed, you can't. But if they're
I
exposed, you can
see.
just try to grab them.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Interesting. Thank you.
No, thank you. Without my friends, I would be in big trouble.
Hmm. Friends are good to have. Uh, I just kind of fiddling with my gems.
Reminiscing about yonder yesteryear.
Mhm.
I wonder if there should be some indication of a different personality, like moving differently, talking differently,
I
tone of
assume that he
voice,
walks with a bit more like
such.
bent over, doesn't walk with as much confidence. Or maybe he does. I don't know what the wizard's like.
Maybe he's just unused to the taller body and everything.
Maybe he's used to all the scales on his hands.
Maybe not. But his opinions and remarks are obviously a little bit more of the evil variety, considering he's lawful evil, as opposed to lawful neutral.
Mm-hmm. He's in it for himself.
Yes.
But that's fine as long as no one gets hurt. But the goblin looks at you and goes and asks if you found anything that might be worth selling, because he is in the mood for purchasing things.
Yes, always off to make the profit. We did find some burnt out gems that can be used for potions. We can either use those to infuse our potions with ash, or we can sell them off.
Oh,
Well,
and
they're
this.
no, they're a stabilizing agent for like they're used for anti-ash materials.
Mm.
I see.
Oh, I found this golden bracer.
He takes a look at it. He takes a look at you. 40 gold pieces.
Hmm.
Do we even know what it does, or if it's just gold?
He clanks it with his finger. Click, click. It's metal. It looks nice.
Yep. So it doesn't. I can't detect anything magical from it.
There might be something magical with it, but whatever. But if it is, it's like super subtle.
Yeah. All right. 40 gold pieces.
Maybe makes your
That's.
fingernail grow like 1 extra inch per year.
Ooh.
But yeah, like he says, okay, anything else you gotta sell? Because he doesn't want to reach in his pouch the whole time.
We have the ashen wand, but I would imagine we would want to hold on to that. Is it operating on based on charges?
By the looks of it, you have no clue how it operates. It seemed to work just fine, but that's it.
Yep, I'm holding the ancient wand. Keeping it. So the
Does he have the? Oh, sorry.
so the burnout gems can be used in potion making.
The way it works is burnt out gems are magically inert. They're so magically inert that they're kind of that they're sort of anti-ash. Like ash is wild, strange, magical fallout. Burnt out gems are the opposite. They are completely magically inert, so they're perfect for like stabilizing agents or antidotes.
They are whole in magic.
Ah, all right, cool, cool. And well, I have. Hmm. And what about the onyx gems? They mentioned.
Ooh, I'm gonna roll for this, cause he. Oh, 10 each. He says after a brief thought.
Oh,
Well, the mage might have some use for those. Interestingly
but
enough, assuming the rules of for necromancy work the same way as they do in Pathfinder.
I can look it up real fast to see if Raised Dead's even still in the player's handbook.
Go ahead.
Raised
oh yeah,
Dead. Yeah, it's
Raised
oh
and
now requires a diamond worth 500. Oh no, that's the necro. Yeah. Cool.
So it's just diamonds or diamond dust, but it's not necessarily onyx, as in with the clerics
Oh, cool. You can actually
from
look
Pathfinder.
for the schools themselves. That's nice. Oh no, that's not how it works. Wah, wah. Wait, it just redirected me to the wrong page. That's what happened.
Oh, I forgot to do step roll first.
Oh, that's actually really cool. There's like a whole list of like you can look up this a whole list of like these are all necromancy spells and these are the levels for them.
Oh.
That's nice.
Do you have a direct link to that?
Give me a sec.
Nice. Huh. Animated doesn't require any kind of
Oh,
gemstones.
Anime Dead. That's another one. Let me look up Anime Dead.
I kind of remember animated in a 3 point something
Yeah, that's
require
gotta
on
get the
access.
3.5 version of the spell. It's just not the one I want. Pull open the book.
But this one just requires some blood and flesh and bone dust.
Alter self. Animate Dead. Requires. Oh yeah! Animate Dead. Casting time 1 minute, range 10 feet. Creates an undead servant, 3rd level. Necromancy. Cool! That's rad. Doesn't require anything special. Okay, so for the onyxes.
Yeah. Does Boyga want one of the onyxes?
Or the money from it.
But imagine he would stick with an actual item, considering money doesn't really matter much to him.
Alright, well, I sell the onyxes.
Excellent, excellent.
So it was 10 each.
Yes, you get 10 coins for each of them.
Yep. Nice. More shinies.
Most certainly.
Ah.
Anything else?
Well, I'd like to keep his book, so I'm not parting with it.
You're gonna keep what?
His spellbook and a diary.
Okay, don't forget to put it somewhere in your character.
Yes.
You can use your core and then go for items, or you can go for bio and then put it under treasure or something.
Treasure, yes.
But yes, you have his book. Which it's not a spell book per se. It's more like a diary mixed with a spell book.
It's fair enough. He has invested time into researching ash magic. It could be very useful for me. Saves me time at the very least.
Be careful though. You share the same body. You share the same curse. If you start doing ash magic.
Yes, that's the idea.
The goblin, by the way, also thanks you for clearing out the city. It's always nice to have safe trade routes.
Yep.
Yes, but quick question to follow that up. Was the orc ash mage the one behind the river?
Okay, so while you were there, you saw that. Well, essentially, you saw that there was a flow of ash from the book from the guy himself. So it's likely he was dumping it.
Actually, so he was the source of it.
Yes. You have
Okay.
like the water's already starting to look clearer and also starting to flow better now that it's not a thick sludge.
No.
He also closed one of the he like sort of closed one of the floodgates they used to shut it down. So
Alright then. That's all fine and dandy. Oh yeah, Boyka, you probably want this ash wand for yourself then. Seems you're interested in this sort of magic.
says the warlock.
No, I totally am, but I would like to keep the ash magic to somebody else so they are exposed to them else. I'm just interested in researching the effects.
The wand itself
And
is
seeing
inert
if I
and doesn't
can
do
use it.
anything to anyone.
Alright, well,
Yes, but casting the stuff does, so I would like to keep it in the warlock's possession for the time being.
Okay.
alright.
I mean, if it comes to it, I can just ask for it because it's there.
Hmm.
It is there. That is true.
But now that the time has passed, the personalities would probably start wrestling with each other for control. It would
Oh,
probably look very weird from the side.
Face contorting, weird mutterings and voices.
Oh, there's this little fancy mask against the dust, so it's not really readily visible. It's just talking to it to oneself. They're just gesticulating.
Certainly. That's your
uh,
problem.
does the wand work as an arcane focus?
Yes.
Hmm. I don't actually know what they do, but
So here's how it works. If you're going to use this thing, it essentially casts your spell at a higher level. The
oh,
cost is that if you use it, you have to roll to see if you advance on the ash track,
uh, all
or
right.
you take a minor like downside.
Okay. Yeah. Let's keep that in mind then.
So, for example, you can do the arms of Hadar you could cast and do like 3d6 damage, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Cool.
You can only do
Hmm.
one, unlike conventional ash pinches where you can do as much as you want. The wand only provides one, so it only works for leveling up things once. But that's for later. Just know that it makes your spells more spellier.
Yep. Okay. I'll record that into the bio under treasure.
Excellent.
All right. Cool. All right. So since we have this sorted out, would you maybe like to explore the tower in the middle of this
Is
ruin?
it unlocked?
You could try to wrest the door open. You have a crowbar.
It did really
Let me
look.
check if I actually have one in my...
You have an engineering's pack. You have a crowbar.
Yes. There we go.
I have staff.
I think steel is a bit stronger, but sure.
Well, in that case, yes, I do not mind to investigate the tower as well, while we're at it.
Hmm. Oh yeah, it was something that came to mind again. Hmm.
So you head back over to the tower. The water is nice and clear. But along the way, all the attention did drag the attention of something else. You're now at the door of the tower, and you notice that in front of it are like strange winged beings. If you squint really hard, they might look like kobolds, but they're like mangled beasts.
More of the ash zombies that we've faced before.
They're not ash zombies, but they do look pretty monstrous.
Uh, Before we get back into town, could we take a short rest
If you wish, you can take a short rest.
so that I get my spell slot back? What more does it do? Charging as well. Uh, I don't really need to regain hit points just yet.
You're only missing one, so
Hmm.
you both basically sit on your hands for a bit.
Sit down.
The kobolds go away. They're like, we're going to take a break.
Yep.
It's a bit late in the day, though. So, like, it took a while to get here.
Yeah.
Rummaging through the tower, through the mage tower of a dead city at night.
It's not night. It's
what
still
could be
light
better?
enough, but eventually
Well,
you're probably
evening,
going to have to set up
fair
camp
enough,
here.
Should we set it up now and wait till morning, or actually proceed?
There's still plenty of daylight.
Yep. So as I said,
Uh,
There are the creatures. We'll just have to keep an eye on them if we decide to stay. But yes.
Alright. So we take a rest, have a bite to eat, and then head back towards the tower.
at the tower, you see the strange flying creatures.
Hmm.
They seem to be on the lookout for something.
Uh-huh. So, what did they look like?
They look like mangled creatures. They've got something. They're small. They're kind of cobalt-sized, and they look a bit like them, but they're much more mangled, and they look like there's stuff hanging from them, and they seem to be dripping endless goo of sorts.
Ugh.
They're magic-tainted beings.
Yes. Uh, Mutants. Okay. Hmm. Are they like circling the tower or just around there?
Well, it's more that they were attracted to the attention you drew, and they're kind of like on guard. They
Ah,
might be looking for a fight.
okay.
Or a meal. You could try to wait more and see if they eventually go away, though. I mean, they've already been here an hour, so.
That sounds boring. I'll march forwards.
No dang.
The creatures snarl and snort at you.
Snort.
You hear a broken, scratchy voice going, meal.
Yep, I'm out of here.
Yep,
Meal.
I point my sword at him and say, "Yes, indeed."
Time to roll the dice.
Can I try to intimidate that thing?
What do you want to get out of it?
Shake it up. Just break its confidence.
Give it
Something like that.
disadvantage on something?
Yeah. Make it unsure of its chances against us.
Boyga rolls an 8, which is surprising considering he has advantage.
Oh.
What did you roll for initiative? 10. Well, before you get to make your move, the flying thing just rushes right at you. Let me just make sure the order is set up straight. There we go. Only had to move one. It flies towards you. It has very sharp claws with which it goes right at you. And it goes with an uppercut. Rolling a lot of 19s today, which is surprising. You take 7 damage. It takes a right claw right at you.
Okay, now.
But now you get to make a move. Oh wait, forget, Como has ambuscade, so you get an extra turn to attack if you wish.
Oh heck. But that only comes in effect when the original owner is in control.
Okay. So, what's Shady gonna do?
Alright. Well, it slashed at me, so I'm going to slash at it. Normal. Ah.
It's a swing and a miss, I'm afraid. Your blade goes, and it just dashes back. It is now. It's gonna take an attack of opportunity because it's moving away. It's kind of like flapping back, which gives you another opportunity to attack. Doesn't help.
Nope.
Even if it takes an action to disengage, it doesn't. Yep.
Oh.
Boyga, what are you gonna do? Your friend's in trouble.
Yes. Well, since the mage's still in control, I would like to start casting magic. Would the witch bolt actually work on them?
Why wouldn't it?
Well, they might be resistant in some way.
Nope. They are affected.
Okay, fair enough. Let's try to do that because I don't want to cast AoE. That'll probably hurt everybody. In that case, click.
So this strange bolt crackles off of you, goes through the air, connects with the creature, and bzzz, almost like a bug zapper, it falls limp on the ground, deep fried.
Huh.
Taking out flying creature 1. Flying creature 2 goes after the one that just shot the lightning bolt. As it sees that thing go out, it's like, I'm going to stop you, and goes for an uppercut. Which seems to be these things' specialty. That is a hit. And it rolls 5 points of damage against Boyga.
That's down to 1. Ugh.
Indeed.
Is this in any way reduced by the armor, by the way?
No, armor is just your armor class.
I see. So it's just for getting
Yes.
hit, I mean. Yes. Well, we've bitten off more than we can chew, most likely. I mean, I still have a little bit of reserve when the personality goes back to the
Shady can go.
owner.
Okay. Shady will try to frostbite the second flying thing.
Make your spell attack.
Okay. Since it's a cantrip, what level do I cast it at?
Good question. Good question. Actually, since it's a cantrip, you just cast it at level 0.
Yep.
So roll me your 1d6. So the creature is hit in the wing.
Uh,
It falls down to the ground.
Ah.
Boyga, make it count.
oh yeah, and
Yes.
if it
Oh yes, you
fails
still
to-
get your action. Oh no, you still have your movement if you wish. That was not a bonus cantrip. Whoops. What are you gonna do?
I was just saying that there's a Constitution saving throw.
Oh yes, on a failed save, disadvantage the next attack before its turn. Okay, let's roll the Constitution, which should be in your favor, considering what it has. Nope, it makes that save like a mother clucker. It doesn't mention if it takes anything. Okay, we'll just say that it still takes the damage. It just doesn't get the disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Boyga.
Yes. I still have the second spell today.
You do.
Yes, in which case, let's see what this thing can do to the other one. Not much. But it was already injured.
It was injured by the frostbolt. It gets hit from the other side by a lightning bolt that creeps up to it and just zip. And once more, it's a mixture of things. It's half frozen, it's half burnt by lightning, but it plops to the ground with a dull thud.
Was
How many are
thunder
left?
was the thunder damage like just like sonic damage?
It's electricity or sonic, but I assume it's electricity.
It's
Actually,
electricity
no,
and
I think it's.
it does produce loud sound, however. So it's not very stealthy.
There is a point in the book that's like these are damage types.
If I cast a thunder wave, it will be heard within 300 feet.
196.
But it will kill everyone.
Yeah, thunder is a burst of sound. Why did I just call it sonic damage? I don't know. Because there's already lightning, so it makes it just confusing.
Yeah.
You've beaten the creatures. The door is open. Or at least you can go to the door, I mean.
Alright. I'll take a look at the door.
The door is a nice wooden door. They're used to... You can tell that the door probably would have locked, but it isn't. But you still have to wedge it open because it's somewhat uncomfortably stuck.
I'm also almost dead, so I would like to either take a really short break here or check one of those potions of healing.
I think if you're going to take a break, it would be probably better to be inside the building than outside the building.
Sure.
Take out your
Yeah,
crowbar. And if
Also-
you want to open the door
almost
that way, you can also do whatever you want.
Well, the mage is physically weaker, or at least he doesn't really know how to control the strength, so I would have to switch back to Boyga. Which...
He's like, take care of this door, knave.
Yes, he doesn't like physical work.
Ah! So, what are you doing?
What would be the role for
Strength with
opening the door?
advantage because you got a crowbar.
Okay, advantage. Click.
There's a little and then door flings open.
Oh yeah.
Why the heck is your... Oh, you rolled strength. You're supposed... Oh, no, it's a saving throw. Yes, that's a bit different. Okay. Yeah, you're a little and then door swings open, and you see the nice, sparkling halls of a wizard's tower. There's a reception desk with some nice seats. There's sitting couches on which you could lie down. There's
At the very least, we know that this place wasn't looted.
Yep. Who knows how far you'll get, though, because the place does look a bit magically dull.
Dull in what way?
Well, you see, like, candle holders with no candles in them. You see, like, how to put this? There's, like, witch light holders with nothing in them. It's like the magic in this place is worn out.
Which makes sense.
Okay.
Either people took refuge here and locked themselves in, or they just abandoned it and sealed it off.
Well, who knows?
Okay.
Now we can probably take the rest and recover the lost hit points.
Yeah.
A long
Hopefully.
rest recovers all hit points, by the way. So,
Yeah, we'll probably wait the night over here. Lock the door behind us.
Oh yeah.
Probably take shifts though.
what's up?
What the exits are there in this room?
From where you stand, from being inside, you can tell there's one exit in the back. There's like a small domed building inside the tower. Like you're in a mostly empty hall going like you can look up, the ceiling is really high up. There's only one thing going anywhere, and it's like a small gazebo in the back.
Huh. All right. So we lock the, close the door, maybe lock it somehow,
It has a deadbolt.
Yep. And in the other direction, like there's just one other exit, right?
There's only the door you came in through and the gazebo in the back behind the reception desk.
All right. I'll set my what's it called, hunting trap in that way.
Okay.
Well, we have at least some something to slow creatures down if we are attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we step into it in the morning.
Try to wake up with a clear head.
Yeah, it's just a giant bear trap.
It's just a bear trap. I'm
That'll
surprised
take
you
your
have one,
leg
but
off.
not the ranger.
Yeah.
Guess just shows what kind of party this is.
I don't hunt bears.
Okay. So have you taken
Oh.
care of all your resting duties of recovering your HP?
Indeed.
So are we taking a long rest here then? Or
I mean,
short
it's late
rest?
in the day. You're tired. You're beaten up.
Yes, let's.
Oh well, I will take turns watching.
It's a bit awkward with just the two of you, but you managed to make do for the night.
Yeah.
Not much happens. You hear some things crawling outside, but that's about it. They don't seem to care much about the tower or the inside, so you're safe. Nothing even like tries to claw at the door.
Well, the things that live there probably didn't see us get in, so they don't really care
Most
to
likely.
check. Meanwhile, I'm gonna take a really short break of a few minutes and be back in a moment.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom then. Let's schedule a quick one.
Yep.
I'm back.
Yep. I'm still here.
Como not? No como?
Yeah.
Bah.
Okay. By the way, if things don't work out well with Shady, I'm also kind of contemplating making a Persian sorcerer.
A what sorcerer?
Persian.
Ooh.
Yes, link in Discord.
That name? Persian. Oh, that's cool!
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, the Persian and other silver games races are from Pony Finder.
Pony finder. Oh, there's a pony. That gives me the chuckles and the chortles.
Sure. I've been looking
I
for
have
a specific
chortles.
image, but I was unable to find it.
Okay.
Ugh.
So, continue.
Yes,
Yep.
please.
So you're in the same dusty room. You probably slept on the nice benches. You notice that up above, as you've been taking watch, up above is like it eventually goes into the sky, but you don't notice any like air or draft or anything, or even wind in this large spire. There's rooms floating up there, but you have no clue how to get there without some sort of magical aid.
Huh.
As you stayed,
Yeah.
you also checked the gazebo, where you saw magical circles, but they seem to be inert.
Oh yeah, I get get out my hunting trap.
Naturally, before you hurt yourself.
Yep. Uh, hmm, could be that the previous residents had ready access to levitation magic. Didn't really need stairs or anything like that. Slightly
It's
annoying.
pretty secure when you think about it. Can't get up there without the circles. That being said,
Yeah.
considering that the magic seems to have faded to this place, it's just as likely that the circles just went inert themselves.
Oh, did you say there were rooms above or
Rooms above, like
floating?
there's stone structures floating up in the tower.
I just looking. I have climb speed.
Indeed you do, but these are pretty high up. You might get tired before you get there.
Ah.
You also don't notice like any way to get in from up down here.
Is it possible for us to charge it somehow?
I don't know.
The plates.
You don't have that kind of magic available to you right now.
Technically, I have the thunder.
That's sound. You'd probably break the plates.
Ugh.
Okay. Oh wait. So the gazebo has some magical circles and
Yes.
uh,
There's like little signs redirecting to every office, too. So
I'll take a look at them and see if there's any like breaks or any that could be easily repaired.
there's nothing. There's just a magic circle on the ground and a name on the wall. That's it.
Hmm. And it's inactive.
Yes.
Uh,
Can we speak that name?
It's written in common, and if you can read common, you can speak it.
mm,
Well, I would imagine at least one of us can.
so, yeah, I I understand common.
It could be the situation, say friend and enter.
Yes, could be that there's a an activation phrase or
Well, it's more that they're dead. Like they're like a dead battery. You need some strong magic to reactivate them.
right. And do we have anything that would qualify?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Then we
Uh,
will need to explore a little bit.
yeah, we'll
Perhaps we will find something.
Well, there's nothing
look
else.
at
Like it's just the reception desk, the sitting area, and the gazebo. It's pretty
In that
Spartan in
case,
design.
in
You,
that case, we can try to lock this tower behind us and then come back to explore it again. Although locking doesn't really seem to do much, considering not everybody's going to have the batteries. And on top of that, we can probably check with the goblin if he's still around.
hmm Well, the goblin's
uh,
already moved on since it's late in the day.
Yes.
was there anything at all to be found in the reception room?
Um. So you check around the desk. You find like a guest book, as you would expect. Um. You also find like some money, probably used to pay off like delivery people, and some magical gems, probably used for spellcasting.
Neat.
Um, Total, you find around 50 gold pieces, 2 turquoise, and a moss agate. Agate.
That's a lot of gems, but makes sense.
They're
For a
wizards. They
place
use
like this to have
They
them.
use gems for everything.
Indeed.
Okay. Uh, do you need gems for anything?
None of my current spells require materials.
Okay.
They're all just verbal and gesture.
Okay. So it was 50 gold pieces.
Yep.
Alright. We'll distribute those evenly. 25 for each.
Okay.
And I keep the gems.
Excellent. But other than the guest book and like some old stuffy documents, there's not much.
Okay.
Probably just bookkeeping. Is it possible to check the documents for the location of their extra batteries, assuming they even had any?
Um, roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
Mm,
Um,
I failed.
by the looks of it, they didn't keep any extra batteries. Like they had mages on site that would take care of it.
Got it. We'll need to come here when we are a little bit stronger.
It mentions that second and third circle spells can help provide like a short-term activation.
I see. So at the very least, we need to be level 2 to get here.
No, no, no. Second circle. So you need to be able to cast that type of spell.
Oh, second circle. I need to check real quick the table of the wizard.
You get them at level 3.
There we go.
The warlock also
Yeah.
gets second level slots. So
yeah, at level 3.
on that note, by the way, um,
Sluts.
when we end the session, you get an experience. You get a level. We're saying it's just banked for now, but there you go.
Ah, great. Well, we did do some exploring and fighting, so okay.
Well, it's first level. It's like you know, getting to grips
Well,
with yourself.
second? Really?
Hmm?
Or do we start with level 0?
No, no, you're second level.
Hmm.
But we can do it at the end when we're done,
Yeah, of course.
and that's whenever you want it to be. You can still go back and cash your reward or talk to some people if you wish.
Yeah, since we can't find anything else here, uh, I guess we could try looting more of the shops or buildings. That
You sure you want to do that?
Well, we technically have a goal in mind. We need to, well, we've waited for the night. We can probably grab something on our way out, but beyond that, I don't really see much reason for us to stick around.
yeah,
Considering if the tower has been completely discharged, there's probably not much here that hasn't already been picked. Or just dead and inert.
well, that one shop I looked into had a scroll and a potion, so would be
Hmm.
something.
Could be. We'll check a couple on the way out. But other than that, this place seems to be pretty worn out.
Yeah.
Well, Wellspring is along a river, so it is a place most likely visited by people.
Hmm.
Like you'd
Yeah.
have to go to the less traveled and presumably more dangerous section of the city if you really wanted to get some stuff.
Considering the things here nearly destroyed us, I would come back later. We still need to come back for the tower, so we can always return.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get back out and maybe return later when we have slightly more capable.
Excellent. You leave and you go back to the village.
Village
Um,
of
you notice that whatever ecstasy they had, like the whole excitement over, yay, the water's flowing, has died down a bit because it's the next day. They've already noticed the change. Um, and as the guards see you, they immediately wave you over to the main tent.
Follow inside.
There you are again. You have succeeded, where our scouts did not.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
afraid you scouts were turning to ash statues.
He takes a deep sigh.
There was this, uh, well, insane person there doing something with the ash.
Hmm. Worrisome. Is there any reason to believe there will be more?
Yes, there was an orc mage who was at the core of the problem, and through his documents we have discovered that he was actually offered great power by a deity, apparently, in exchange for doing what he did.
Hmm. A deity. For poisoning the river?
Not specifically poisoning the river. The river was probably just a byproduct of that. He was casting an ash storm.
Hmm. He looks nervous because ash storms are serious business. Are you certain?
Yes. Yes, we've managed to prevent one by killing him and using his equipment against it.
Hmm.
I can
Well,
just like rip out the page of the thing and just of the diary and just give it to him.
you can. And do you?
Well, I've read it at least a few times and flipped over, and there's nothing useful that I could have been able to that I could discern from it. So I can just give it the page to him as a proof, I suppose. Considering this is a settlement of orcs, or at least the leader of them is an orc, this might be one of theirs.
He
They
takes a
might
look at it,
recognize handwriting
and
or something.
he doesn't recognize the handwriting. But what he does know is that there was a cult nearby that worshipped the ash and worshipped the destruction that the old world had caused. Um, and it's entirely likely that someone may have kept like some of the paperwork they had on them and followed in their footsteps. He says that is worrisome, um, and that that maybe it will be worth investigating their old campsite.
Okay.
But then says,
Uh,
you've done so much already. You don't have to get any more involved than you already are.
hmm, be interesting. Where is this old campsite?
In
It's
case we
near
happen to pass by. Yes.
it's near the old campsite to the south, near the old geyser to the south.
All right. Yeah, would be interesting.
Is that a geyser, by the way?
It's a geyser.
Geyser.
I say geyser. I don't know what it is.
It's probably geyser, yeah. Just towards the geysers and the plains.
Yes, towards
Fair
the
enough.
hills.
Quick question: the map that you've been drawing, was it technically upside down?
How
Were we
so?
looking like from north to south?
North is up there, south is down there.
No, I know that it on this map, but the map that you've been drawing on the stream,
The map I'm
is it
drawing on the stream
technically
is a
like?
different map.
Oh, I see. But it's technically still the same world.
No.
So then that other map wasn't related. Okay, was it for Zai?
It was for something else, yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Going back.
Yes.
But yes, you were promised a fine weapon.
Ah, yes.
I presume that you have left specifications on what type of weapon you want.
Yeah. Well, as long as it's one-handed.
As long as it fits in one hand. Well, um, he presents you with a very finely crafted longsword.
Ooh.
Its design is intricate. There's some beautiful little, like, very nicely detailed design on the hilt, and tells you that this is a masterwork longsword made by his finest smith. Essentially, you have a +1 to attack with this thing.
Ah,
Hmm.
all
It's
right.
much easier to hit with this finely balanced, well-attuned sword. It may not be magical, but it comes pretty close.
Yeah, thank you. That's the book. Right.
Oh yeah, we could have also mentioned that the specifically black-colored robes
That doesn't mean anything to him. Like, they know the necromancers wear black robes, so it doesn't, like, mean anything specific to him.
Yes, but maybe they know particularly like the design of it or something of that cult that they're sending us after. I
Well,
mean,
well, the cult wore, like he explains, the cult wore robes that were black, but they also, like, put the dust on it so that it sparkled in a certain way.
let me see. Did we see the same kind of
No,
thing on the other dude?
not really, which is surprising, all things considered.
So it could have been a rogue agent or somebody else
Hmm.
entirely.
Hmm.
Or someone who never saw the original robe designs.
Maybe. So, yes. So the idea we can get from this is that either the leader of the settlement is just trying to either get us killed or to get us to kill this cult that has been probably like a contender for resources. And it could also possibly mean that whoever was responsible for ordering the Ash Mage was actually interested in setting up this kind of confrontation, getting rid of the mages.
I mean, who knows? The Ash Lords could be real, could not be real.
Yes. However, I am a little bit more skeptical. It's like, well, yeah, gods exist, but you know, we killed a few, and it's like probably not even a real one.
Who knows?
A good enough mage can pass for a god.
That's true. The old world was filled with people with tremendous powers that could do incredible things.
Hmm.
But it wasn't like they were often. Well, I guess in this world they would easily be mistaken for gods since their powers would be so tremendous. Unlike yours sucks. Your mage is not the bee's knees, as they call it.
Yes, I tell that to him every day, and he just rage quits for a bit.
Your mage is not the bee's knees.
It's like there is no lack of mutual hatred and self-deprecation there.
Why share a body if you can hate the person? Yep.
Well, mostly because that person is an asshole.
I guess. I guess.
All right, in that case, we would refill
Well,
our
you haven't
supplies
gotten
and
your
head
reward,
off.
have you? You have not been given anything special.
Uh, I've gotten the mirror out of it, but yes, I have not actually specifically requested anything, or at least Boyga didn't.
Okay. Well, then they can make you something now, or they can give you something.
Well, if they have anything, let's say, do they have the masterwork bow of any sort of the kind?
They have a masterwork longbow. Like they need bows to hunt, and the hunting's not too bad around here. So yeah.
Well, if I could take one of those for myself while trading them in my old one, naturally,
Hmm.
that would be a fair exchange.
Okay. They give one to you. Essentially, a masterwork longbow is worth 150 coins if you ever were to sell it, and they give you a +1 attack bonus because of their fine make and ease to use.
I see. Same damage, but it does go by +1, I assume.
Hmm.
So that's attack dex +1. Click. Close. So now it becomes a 1d6. And, well, I suppose I can give it a whirl at the shooting range or something. Shoot like a hay bale.
Hmm. I mean, your minimal is 7, so
Yes.
you've got a pretty good aim with this thing. And then
Ah,
you
there we
land one of
go.
those. Then you land an incredible shot. Like this thing is perfect. But with that, they do request that it might be useful if you check out that old place they were at and see if anything might have happened.
Sure.
Yep.
That sounds reasonable.
I mean, here's the thing: like the place they're directing you to, like near the geyser, isn't a bad place to set up shop. So someone might actually be building something up there and found it by accident.
Hmm.
Like they didn't raise it to the ground because they were just like, let's just clear it out, get rid of these people, and then move on. They forgot to destroy the documents and all. Always burn down everything.
Always destroy evidence. Then they should probably be very, very aware of that. Quick question. What do the numbers underneath the initial roll mean? 150 out of 600?
That's your range.
That's the range, and what the other one is?
That's your longbow +6. You mean that?
The second number, so C,
Okay, so
2250 slash 600.
550 is like the range within which you can attack normally.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to 151 to 600, you have disadvantage, and after that you can't aim at things anymore because they're just too far away.
I see.
It's how range increments work.
Is it in feet,
Yes.
assume? Wow. Wow, this thing shoots really far.
Yep, it's got range.
200 meters almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty crazy. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yes, as requested, I would want to investigate the mage's encampment. Both of my characters would actually be interested in doing so.
That sounds interesting.
It'll be an educational road trip.
Hmm. Do you have any kind of reward for going there?
Well, like, here's the thing. It's like, investigation's kind of like, it's a nicety. So they're like, you can keep anything you find, but we don't really, like, it's not care. They don't really care.
They just give us a pointer, most likely.
Like, if you find something, they'll probably shoot you, like, something good, but you'd have to prove it. That there's something that you've taken care of.
Fair enough.
All right. Fine. Oh, can you spare 2 crossbow bolts?
Yes. I mean, I said we're not doing ammo, but yes, they just they have some spare, and they're like, yeah, whatever. 2 bolts. Ugh.
I can probably just fletch some of them for you.
Ah, you could try.
Well, considering the character is a ranger, and would likely have some relevant skills.
How about we call it here? We've been going for 2 hours.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable break-off point.
We can you can take care of your level ups, get some training in town, talk to some people.
Yep.
Then I can prepare everything, and next time we'll have some fun to do. How do you like in 5e?
Oh,
It's different, but it's interesting. I like it.
it's different, but let's say way more streamlined than like Pathfinder.
So far,
Yes.
would you prefer Pathfinder or 5e? Which, if you had to like spur of the moment?
Ooh.
Well,
Still kind of like Pathfinder's, like all the
Okay.
base.
the way I look at it, Pathfinder allows for a lot of
Options.
mathematical fuckery. Yes, you can crack the numbers and then crunch the numbers, and then you can get some pretty badass and insane characters that a lot of stuff stacks in very unexpected ways. Here it's a little bit more tame, which is what I prefer, to be honest. And the character sheet is a little bit tidier and neater.
Yep.
So there's that.
Cool. So, with that, level ups for all.
Yes. Do we still get feats, by the way, or are they
No.
more like...
No, the way feats work is you can get a feat, or you can get the increase to your ability score at level 4.
I see.
Feats are a bit more powerful, though.
I see.
Like, look them up, and you'll see. You would not believe your eyes.
All right. So that would be more of a... Yeah. That is fair enough. So, Would you, as a GM, allow the bond between the mage and the ranger?
It's not a bond. Like, they need to like each other for that to work. And they need to be distinct entities so that I can use it against you. Like, your bond needs to be something that a big villain goes, I have a button, and if I press this, your bond is going to blow up.
I see, in that sense. I can
Yes.
try to work either into this or set up a bond with something else.
Like,
That's
it can
fair
just be
enough.
an item you carry with you, you know?
Well, technically, the mage is the item.
Fine, just
You see,
keep it.
it's like, in a sense, it's a friend with benefits, you would say.
Just keep it, Como. Just keep it.
Okay, fair enough.
So what
Right,
does
so
what does
how
everyone
many
get?
skill points are we getting?
None. Your proficiency doesn't go up either.
How do we level up skills, by the way, then?
You get proficiency bonus increases, and you get ability score increases.
I see. What is the next one?
4. So
So
here's the thing
you
you have to think about is in 5e, if you can make a 30, that's incredible. That is like high top tier stuff happening. So don't worry about how big your numbers are. They are not going to go up much, and they don't need to go up much.
you mean 30 in a roll?
Yeah, if you roll a combined 30, that's impressive.
I
That's
see.
like even at level 20, that's pretty impressive. There's not many
Well,
numbers going on here.
at least that signifies that we are somewhat competent in what we're doing.
Yeah, that's kind of what's going. What's going for that Numenera. Like you're already kind of good at what you're doing. On that note,
Yes.
I assume that Balmor can handle himself, unless you need help. Like we can figure this all out together on how it works.
I'm reasonably good. I need to check up the invocations that I can pick.
Okay.
Like most of them, well, a good number of them require the Eldritch Blast cantrip, which I chose not to take. I have to look through them and.
Oh, don't forget, by the way, every session you'll start with inspiration, which you can
Oh,
spend to gain advantage or give disadvantage on a roll.
oh,
To oneself or the enemies? Or
You
both?
can take advantage to for yourself, or give disadvantage to an enemy, or you can give it to someone else if you want to. So like, hey
So,
friend, you need help? Here's an advantage for you.
or a disadvantage.
If you're an asshole,
oh,
yes.
oh yeah.
Well, yes, this is probably a very bad idea, but nothing is stopping one from doing so.
I remember reading about that and how people were kind of forgetting to use it constantly.
Well, to be fair, you didn't even know it existed.
So it happens at the start of each turn,
What?
the advantage disadvantage ability.
No, it's an immediate action to use, so you can use your
Oh.
inspiration whenever.
So you basically spend your turn.
No, you just use it whenever. It's not even your round. It's just like a bam.
So it's unlimited.
No, you get to use it once, and then you need to get it back.
I see.
You get it back when you use your flaw in like a way that disrupts the team, or you get it back at the beginning of the session.
I see.
Now, Como, let's go to your character, because you get a fighting style, and since you are a
Uh-huh.
Stigamover, you also get Skirmisher's Stealth. At the start of your turn, okay, that's something you're gonna have to read up on yourself. But your fighting style,
Sure.
you can pick archery. You get +1 attack rolls with ranged weapons. Defense, while wearing armor, gain +1 to AC. Dueling,
All right.
whenever you wield a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, you gain +1 bonus to damage with a weapon. Or you can pick 2-weapon fighting, in which case you can apply your damage modifier to your second attack.
Which is not applied under normal conditions.
Yes. So your other short sword would do another +2.
I think I will pick up that
Okay.
the 2-weapon fighting for this. I already have the reasonably decent longbow. So this can wait until the next level, I assume. Or whenever I'm getting this. So technically these things are the feats, and they're automatically added.
Yes.
Got it. And of course, this will work for any weapon that I'm using. Not
Only
just
for
these.
two-handed weapons. No, you're using one weapon in each hand, I mean.
Yeah. Well, yes. Two-weapon fighting. And you said something else?
Skirmishers, stealth.
Mhm.
Let me read it up for you. Skirmisher stealth.
No,
Beginning
I'm
at second.
looking up.
I
Oh,
can.
go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I need to pop it for you. Here you go. Skirmisher
Okay.
stealth. Beginning at level 2, you combine speed and stealth. Oh, let me shut down the stream.